Have the Ravens quietly received the best possible injury update before training camp even started? Because if you see the headlines about Nnamdi Madubuike landing on the PUP list, your first reaction was probably, here we go again. But here's the thing, I don't think this story is nearly as negative as the headlines make it sound. In fact, after everything Madubuike has been through over the past year, there's a very real chance Ravens fans could see one of the most disruptive defensive tackles back on the practice field much sooner than expected. And if that happens, we're not just talking about getting back a great player, we're talking about a move that could completely change the ceiling of Baltimore's defense heading into the 2026 season. But before Ravens fans get too excited, there's one important detail about PUP destination that almost everyone is overlooking, and honestly, that's what really stood out to me. So let's talk about what happened, because this is where headlines can be a little misleading. The Ravens officially placed Nnamdi Madubuike on the active physically unable to perform list ahead of the start of training camp, along with Travis Jones, John Jenkins, Teddy Buchanan, Adisa Isaac, and Bilal Combs. Now, if all you saw was Madubuike placed on the PUP list, it's easy to assume he suffered a setback, but that's not what the reports are saying. According to multiple reports, Madubuike has already been cleared by independent spine and cervical specialists to return to football activities after the neck injury that ended his 2025 season. The reason he's beginning camp on the active PUP list is so the Ravens can continue evaluating his conditioning and safely ease him back into football. There's even optimism that he could be practicing as early as this week, and that's the huge difference. Now, being on the active PUP list doesn't automatically mean that a player will miss regular season games. Players can come off this list during camp at any point once they are medically ready. This is also consistent with what Eric DeCosta said. DeCosta told reporters that everything with Madubuike was pointed in the right direction, while acknowledging that the neck injury requires extra caution. He also said the team expected to have much more clarity before training camp got underway. When you put all those pieces together, the picture starts to look a lot more encouraging than the initial headline, and let's not forget what kind of player we're talking about. Before the injury, Madubuike had established himself as one of the NFL's premier interior defensive linemen. His breakout 2023 season earned him Pro Bowl honors after recording 13 sacks, and over the next 2 seasons, he totaled 19.5 sacks, 54 quarterback pressures, and 50 quarterback hits, making him one of the league's most disruptive interior pass rushers. And when he went down after week 2 last season, the Ravens didn't lose a starter. They lost one of the engines of their pass rush. His absence had a ripple effect across the entire defense, and Baltimore finished with one of the NFL's lowest sack totals. But this is where things get really interesting, because I don't think the biggest story is that Nnamdi Madubuike is getting closer to returning. I think the biggest story is what his return could unlock for the entire Ravens defense. So what does all of this mean for the Ravens? To me, this story isn't just about Nnamdi Madubuike returning to the field. It's about what his return could do for everyone else on his defense. Think about that for a second. Last season, Baltimore had to adjust without one of the best interior pass rushers in football. When you lose a player like Madubuike, offensive lines don't have to respect the middle of your defensive front the same way. That allows quarterbacks more room to step up in the pocket, and it makes life a lot harder on your edge rushers. Now imagine flipping that script. If Madubuike comes back healthy, offenses suddenly have a major problem to solve. Do you double team Madubuike on the inside, or do you slide protection towards the Ravens edge rushers? Either way, somebody is going to get the favorable one-on-one matchups, and that's exactly what Baltimore's defense is built on, creating pressure from multiple directions instead of relying on one superstar to carry the load. But here's what nobody is really talking about. Madubuike's return could actually make life easier for the linebackers in the secondary. When interior pressure forces quarterbacks to speed up their decision making, they don't have time to let deep routes fully develop. That means fewer opportunities for big passing plays and more chances for Baltimore's defense to force mistakes. That's how one player can impact an entire defense without even showing up in a box score. Now, I do think the Ravens need to be patient. This was a serious neck injury, and there's absolutely no reason to rush him back just to win a few training camp reps. If he needs another week or even a couple of more to get fully comfortable, then so be it. The goal isn't to have Nnamdi Madubuike at 100% in July. The goal is to have him playing his best football when the games actually matter in January. My prediction, I believe Nnamdi Madubuike will be back on the practice field sooner rather than later, and I also believe he'll regain his Pro Bowl form as the season progresses. I don't expect him to look like his old self on day 1. After missing significant time, there will probably be some rust, but by the middle of the season, I think we're going to be talking about Madubuike as one of the biggest reasons this Ravens defense is back among the NFL's elite. And if that happens, Baltimore's defensive line has a real chance to become one of the most disruptive units in football, giving his team another legitimate shot at competing for a Super Bowl. Now I want to hear from you Ravens fans. Do you think Nnamdi Madubuike returns to Pro Bowl form, or do you think the Ravens should take it slow and ease him back into action? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed another episode of Ravens Intel, like and subscribe to GridIron Flock TV. I appreciate you all for watching the videos, and also I'm gonna continue to bring you all the updated news when it comes to the Ravens, and you already know, we out.